2, 1, and we are live. That wasn't a ding, so we must be live. And it's EuroScrum, and it's Sam and Thomas, which makes my life easy because I can immediately say, Thomas, how are things with you?
Just fine, thanks. Just fine. I'm not in bed like you are, so I'm working.
Yeah, this is the problem. My problem, always lying down on the job. That was what my previous parole officer used to say. Sorry, go on. It's
Well, we had a series of meetings yesterday.
Yeah, dev meeting yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a pre-dev meeting first with John and Amal, and Sampriti joined us, and we spoke at length about the events epic.
Yes.
And we made some decisions. I don't have to bore you out with the details and with nitty-gritty stuff, but
sure.
Basically what I can say is that we are on the same page, everybody, and we clarified certain stories that we need to start with to start implementing some thoughts, and and after that we can continue building the solutions, so we can cover everything that we need. We can do everything that we need to do with events, but in order to, we have to start someplace, and we know what path we would walk down, and
sure.
John is starting to implement those thoughts as we speak. I think he already sent me a link to 2 feature branches that he has been working on.
Yes.
That are in line with what we decided yesterday. So I'm very happy about that.
Excellent. Yeah.
And also, we had Luisa from Brazil joining our team yesterday, and she took ownership of a story. She participated. First of all, she participated in the discussion, which is always good, for a new member.
Yes.
And she took ownership of a story about this GitHub commit count ordering of projects and our projects index list.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Excellent. I see she's not assigned to that story. Is that an oversight?
On her part, because I told her to take ownership of that. I don't know. Perhaps she's not in pivotal tracker yet. That could be an oversight on my part then.
It's possible that she's not in pivotal tracker. She's actually one of my former students from HPU.
I know. Yeah, right. So if you could you add her to pivotal, and then I can assign her to this story?
I could, or I'll do that. Since you're on your let's see. I have to. Louisa, that's her.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
And we voted on some of the stories, and
I see.
There are some stories that we didn't vote on that you prioritized into the backlog.
Sure.
Because we want to talk to you about them.
Sure.
We don't have to do that today, but in the next client meeting, we'd like to discuss some stuff with you.
Yep.
And we also, I took the liberty to move the search story from Icebox to backlog. The story that Joseph was interested in.
Yeah, that was it. Sure, fair enough. Yep.
Yeah, and also there was another story in the backlog about events that we also. There was another story in the Icebox about events that I moved to backlog, and that was a necessity for in order to get John started.
Yeah, no. That was the. I think it was the trailing end of our previous client meeting. Was like I wanted events in the backlog, but I wasn't sure what to pull over. So that's great.
Yeah. All right. So, basically. We ended up having almost 3 hours of meetings yesterday about website 1, and great discussions. If you have the energy, check out the recording. But just to summarize everything, I feel confident that we're picking up pace.
I think unfortunately I probably won't have time to check out the recording, but I'm very pleased that's taken place, and that sounds very positive. Yes, I've been involved in various discussions with John and Amal and others about the events thing. My slight concern there that I'm sure that you're addressing is that they're sort of focusing on this. What should the underlying data model be? And which is obviously important. I guess, as I was saying to John in the Scrum yesterday, at the end of the day, for me to really assess it, it's going to be all about the user experience. Really.
Yes, of course.
That's the critical thing, and just that the user experience needs to be as absolutely simple as possible in the first instance.
Yeah. So, on my part, we have to think on both of these things, because some of the discussion was about presenting data, and I was like, we have to, the way we present the data is secondary right now, because we need to get everything in place first, and how we create, but of course, because they were there was a lot of discussion. Should we drop the current layout of events page, the index page? And I say, yeah, sure, we can drop that in favor of a list. But there are also other possibilities like a calendar view and some other way to present those events. So we need to. I don't know if this is something that we should talk about in the client meeting, or what the preferences are. How should we?
Well, I think if there's multiple views and they can easily be sustained in parallel, then you can give the
yes, that was
you set the default. I guess my concern has been more that what the discussion seems to go towards is just kind of pulling in more and more things. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that. I think to a certain extent now what's happened is that Amal's doing this workspace on air. They had this kind of idea of like, having an event and you want to have there's this cloud of documents and all the different things and sort of there was sort of a tendency in some places I was in to move towards talking about it. What sort of data model would support this fantastic constellation of different sort of stuff? And I guess my worry about that is that sounded like a complete new project and a complete which it's sort of become. So maybe that's okay.
But I told them, let's keep it simple. We need a solution, a working solution in place first of all, and then if we have resources and time and the necessity which should arise, we can expand that model and we can add features to this. Let's keep the MVP.
Yeah, we've got to work out how to address a single pain point first before, and then there may be like a cloud of 10 pain points that are all things we'd like to address, but we've got to rank them and we've got to work out which one that's like the critical one and validate that. Is having addressed it actually going to make things move more smoothly, or we need to do a series of experiment. I mean, that's it. And anyway, I think we can come back to it in the
exactly. Yeah, let's talk about it in the next client meeting. Which when you have time, check your schedule, check your calendar, and let me know when you feel like, because there are some stories that need to be accepted or rejected.
Yeah, I mean, I think early next week sounds good.
Sure, no problems.
Unless there's some sort of other issues that I can't wait. So any other developments?
No, I've been working a little bit on the Cordelia project, writing up some content for the third workshop. But other than that, nothing in particular, and nothing stopping me right now. I'm not available for pairing today. I was in the Eurasia Scrum with David and Craig this morning, just to touch base with them.
Sure.
And David showed up at the dev meeting yesterday as well. So we're gonna assign some small chores to him. He wanted to get involved in website 1 as well. So I'm very happy about that. So it feels like we have good energy, good. There is a core dev team still, despite the latest development in the project. So I'm happy. I'm confident that we will deliver good results in the near future.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Let's move on to me. And so since the last Scrum, I had been. Actually. So I did. It is not much. No, actually there was a lot. So I had the Autograders client meeting. So which actually had probably the largest number of instructors in parallel. I think we had 7 instructors from different universities around the world, all taking part. And the main issue was that the Autograders not working. That has now been fixed. Although I think it turns out to be the Autograders just needed to be restarted, and I misdiagnosed and thought that the problem was on the edX side, and it wasn't, and that's kind of anyway. So at least that's going to be a good result for the instructors. I only stayed with them for half an hour because I had to get back to the Makers Academy students, but I think that then the instructors carried on talking amongst themselves for another half an hour, and there was a lot of activity on the mailing list afterwards. And so there's a nice community forming there, and that's really pleasing to see. Although the how much time I can spend on that community is another matter. But there also, there's an extent to which ultimately I want to, have the community sustain itself independently of me. Action item for me is I need to follow up with need to post to them. But so following that, I then had a meeting with Armando and escalated that issue with him. I had a meeting with Armando and this other guy who's from, I think, the Berkeley Business School, and they have this concept that they want to. basically kind of add a kind of like well, with the edX 169 course, students can pay edX to get a verified certificate. What they're talking about is, and this, I think this eventually would be independent from edX, but basically saying something along the lines of, okay, you can, if you are a person who's mastered this material, you could get together with some students in your time zone, or you speak your language or whatever, and kind of be a instructor who or a sort of a lead teaching assistant or what have you, who takes them through the course, and the students would pay you for your time and extra effort, and done online, I think, and so they're kind of interested in looking for people who would be interested in leading, I guess, online cohorts of students through the 169 course.
That sounds a little bit like the. Am I understanding this correctly when I say that this sounds a little bit like the Ronin project that you're?
Yeah, it does to a degree. Although what's clear, having started with the Ronin thing, is that whether there whether there would be sort of independent course leaders in the Ronin project is less clear. I think the key thing about Ronin is that the bottom line is it wants to deliver a scalable experience, whereas I think this thing seems to be focused. I don't know. I mean, it's I think I had already said to Amanda, I think because of a potential conflict of interest, I can't really be one of those people who would take a cohort of students through the 169 materials. And Amanda was kind of, well, it's sort of a different sort of thing. I mean, I think there are differences in intent. I think that in some ways, what Berkeley's looking to do is to sort of, lease out its materials and say, look, we've got these great materials, and you can use them, and you can do this thing independently, and we'll take a cut, and then you get paid by the students that you recruit and what have you. Whereas I think, anyway, I mean, I said to Armando and John that I'd mentioned that to people in the Agile Ventures community. I mean, I think we have this question coming up of we were going to be recruiting TAs anyway for the 169 course as volunteers, and conceivably some of them would want to be, would perhaps leap at the chance of, earning money for doing that. But so I mean, I think what Armando and John are interested in is running a pilot to see if that would kind of work. We had a bit of a chat. I mean, there's also a question, like, I think John's idea or Jonathan's idea had been that they would have what's the word? They would be like the Spock model. They would have their own private instance of the MOOC with which to run. Based upon how edX currently manages curriculum, that sounds like a total disaster to me, because there's no version control and this and the other. And so I was saying I think you should work with the existing MOOC materials. What did sound more interesting to me, although I think Jonathan had question marks over it, was could we convert the MOOC so that it was just a rolling MOOC? Do you know what I mean? That it didn't have quite so few instances. Amanda then sort of a compromise position where it would have like rolling starts, like every 3 weeks or something, or
I know that the CS 50, the Harvard Computer Science Interactive course, it runs for 1 year, and you can enroll whenever you want. There are certain stuff you need to do, and you can pay them. I think it's $250, and you can get a certificate for it.
Right.
And they have a rolling
enrollment.
Continuous enrollment in
I think
they have TAs as well, actually.
Yeah, more and more people are doing that. That to me, because I mean, partly just because a lot of people, are busy hanging around waiting for the next instance of 169, and I get people saying, "Oh, I can't." And also, I just worked out how to kind of make the. I think I just worked out how to make the 169 MOOC a rolling one, and as much as I worked out how to remove the limits on the because what we've had all in the past is the MOOC, the older MOOCs are still open and you can access them, but after some 100 days or something, we lose all the checkboxes for you can't submit stuff to the autograders. So I mean, I think having the materials as a resource and having it as sort of just like there. Like that. I guess it's sort of, yeah. If we can get it into a steady state where it's just sort of always available, that sounds reasonably attractive to me. Although at another level, I'm kind of a bit jaded with the 169 curriculum. I feel like the Makers curriculum has got a lot more to offer at the moment in terms of the sequencing and so on. Anyway, I get that's. So I think that's everything. Then I've been playing with the GitHub API and here and yeah. So I'm probably going to be. I'm not really available for pairing today. Yeah, just moving forward. Not really blocked on anything. Yeah, the thing's basically under control. I guess I've got to work out the local support client meeting for tomorrow. Michael seems to be engaged in that. Give him feedback. Anyway, that's what's in my. I guess my main question for you is that running? Is that prospect with the 169 course of interest?
Oh, absolutely, yes. For many reasons. First of all, of course, financially that's always interesting. But the other thing is that personally, I would love to be more involved in working with online education and coaching.
Yeah.
Students as a personal interest of area of growth actually.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely. And I cannot come up with a better organization than edX and the professors, Armando, you and Mr. Patterson to work with. I would consider that a privilege. So yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good to hear. Well, interesting. Yes. Okay. Well, I guess we'll leave it there, and we'll have some further discussions on that. I'll mention to Armando that you're interested. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Okay, brother. I go on and do my stuff now, and you do your stuff.
That sounds like
let's catch up in next Scrum or whatever.
Okie dokie. All right. Bye for now.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Cheers.